Hey, what is going on, guys? In today's video, I want to answer one of the most common questions I get, which is why do I not carry a shotgun in a lot of my gameplays? This seems absolutely ridiculous because I've been saying, and I will continue to say, that the shotgun is the most important weapon you can have in your inventory. But I think in some limited scenarios, it makes sense for me not to carry a shotgun, and I think it can make sense for you, but it's a very niche scenario. Let me make it perfectly clear that in the vast majority of games that you play, you need to be carrying a shotgun. Now, for this video, we're going to talk about the conditions that need to be met for this to make sense, why it makes sense not to carry a shotgun, and how to execute on the strategy of having a shotgunless loadout. Okay, let's talk about prerequisites. 1. You have to be in duos and squads. This will never work in solos. And the reason why it doesn't work in solos is because you have to be able to fulfill, kind of be a one-size-fits-all. You have to be able to take an AR battle. You have to be able to take a build battle, a box fight, right? Sure, you can change your playstyle to try and force engagements that are favorable to you, but if you are completely useless in a certain type of fight, you're going to have a very hard time making that up. And since the shotgun is important in build and box battles, which are the most important two battles, it's going to be very difficult for you to do anything. Duos and squads, however, this can work because if you and your teammate are very clear on what roles you take and you allow your teammate to be the person that is aggressive, does build fighting, box fighting, and you are more focused on supporting them, it can work. But again, must be duos or squads for this to be effective. 2, you must have really it's only going to be a ping limitation, but maybe there's some other limitation I can't think of, that drastically reduces your mechanical skill relative to your aim. So what does that mean? Having 20 FPS does not count, because having 20 FPS is going to make your mechanics terrible and also your aim terrible. That's not a situation this is going to work. If you have extremely high ping, I'm talking over 100, your mechanical skill is going to be dropped drastically. You know, even doing a 90 or a single edit is borderline impossible. But aim is barely affected by high ping. Sure, your shots take a little longer to load in, but aiming is not really going to care much if you have 300 ping. So the point is that your aim has to be so drastically better than your mechanics to where weapons like the SMG and AR are basically unaffected by our limitation, but shotguns are massively worse. Now, with the prerequisites out of the way, let's talk about why this strategy makes sense. Let's think about why the shotgun is usually so important in the game. A shotgun is so important because it synergizes with building in particular, but also weapon swapping to a lesser extent. You know, one of the first things you're going to learn in this game is to shoot a shotgun and build a wall. You know, you get more advanced, you shoot a shotgun, you reset your edit, you take piece control, shotgun, right? Shotgun is just with building naturally works really well. And another strategy you also use is shotgun to SMG or shotgun to AR. The problem is with extremely high ping, none of these strategies really work. If you shotgun someone, it will take ages to switch to an SMG. If you shotgun someone, it takes ages to build a wall. Ages to make an edit, right? So all these strategies basically don't really work anymore. And what that means is that the shotgun just becomes massively less effective. But in SMG, right, you just pull that thing out and you start firing. It doesn't matter if you can't build because oftentimes in the SMG, you don't have burst damage. So you need to try and get a laser. So having a mechanical restriction isn't going to be that big of a deal. In addition, think about it. If you're at 150 ping, if you are in a situation when you need a shotgun, a box fight, build fight, you're realistically done anyway. Even if you had a shotgun, if your opponent is anywhere near competent, you're screwed. You can't hold a wall. You can't make an edit play. You can't pre-fire their edits. If you're in this situation, you're done anyway. So what's the point of trying to have a gun for these situations that you're basically screwed no matter what? Now, let's talk about how to make this strategy work in your gameplay. First off, you have to be consciously thinking, I am the support role. I am not the aggressor. I have to let my teammate go first. What does that mean? When you see an enemy, you can definitely take AR shots or snipe them first, but do not push them first. That never will make sense. Because if you push into a close range engagement, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. Rather, call that they're there, call the damage you hit, and have your teammate go first. You need a confident teammate to do this, but you have to allow your teammate to go first. Once they're attacking, your goal is to focus on spraying, suppressing, flanking, being a nuisance to the enemy, right? Do not go in and try and take a box fight and help them that way. That just won't work because you're screwed in those scenarios. Instead, if they're attacking a box, go on their side, spray it with an SMG, spray it with your AR, right? You see there's an enemy further back. Okay, suppress, lay down suppressing fire with your AR, right? You can maybe flank around, take high ground, and shoot from a mountain, right? There's a lot of things you can do to still be effective, even when you don't have the mechanics to get into the fight super up close. You can still be helpful to your teammate. And third, think about you being more of the overall strategic commander in a sense, right? If you are further back in the battle, you naturally can see more and you're more aware of your surroundings. What that means is that you can be thinking, okay, can I spot, another team that's coming in? Can I spot where the enemies are? Can I, think about how far zone is, right? If you're not focused on pulling crazy mechanical plays, you have more available thinking to be able to think more strategically. So that's what you should be focusing on, because all you are doing is spraying your AR, throwing down explosives. You're not focused on mechanics. So in these situations, you're more open to strategical thinking. Now, just to conclude this video, once again, this is not a thing that you should be doing in most of your games. You need to have it be individual squads and have extremely high ping or some other restriction that results in mechanics being really poor while your aim is still really good. And with that, I hope this video is interesting, and I'll catch you in the next one.